Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest. And thank you all you new people who have subscribed. I welcome you all. I can't really welcome you by name unless I have, unless they're not private and there is a comment made by you. But thumbs up, subscriptions, sharing, comments, all those things are helpful to find new friends to join us. So these are our board books. They're paper mache, and our journals that we've been making are these little journals, Joey Card Maker things. They have pulled everything out of the box to do the covers, and then we'll do a flip through another time. I have put some kind of focal point on the front, but have left just the collage of stamps on the back, and there's some around the edges. I've just kind of stuffed the things in them to keep track of it. I've started all of these, but I need to go back and do a finishing up of them. This is the basically orange one, which I think mostly is okay. I think that might be a spot I missed there. It's just like giving a double check. And then also inside, I need to do a little bit more here and then put the page part on. I wanted to show you how I did the pocket thing, but we'll see how much time we have if I can show you that. A lot of these other ones are wet at the moment. This is the black and white, purple and green one so far, and I see a little spot there I missed. I did a combination of the Joey Card Maker digital papers. What papers were already on here, like for instance this part here, and there's bits of it over here. I've also added in our stamped coffee dyed stamped pieces that we did earlier when we were doing the journal covers, and then the Joy Card Maker pieces, and also some napkin. So there's this part. This is like what the little pocket looks like that I'll show you maybe this time or next time. Here's the blue one. It's very wet. Little spot that's sticking up there. It'll need to be checked and see if I have more, and there's around the edge some more. We'll stick it off to the side though. And here is picking up some blue stuff here. Let go. Here's the pink one. At this point, like I said, they all need a little double checking to see if they are completely covered. Plus, I want to do the page edge to look like pages, and I'm not positive how I'm going to do it or positive how I am going to finish this part in here, whether I'm just going to go in and do it like that. This is the little pocket I've made in them, which I can show you how I've done that. So here's the blue one. It's off to a very good start, but there's like here is a little bit of space left. This is some of the color that was on here. These are some of the Joey Card Maker pieces like this. This polka dot one is a blue, sort of tealy blue napkin part. I've torn up these pieces. I just found some other napkin edge that I can use, and then the Joey Card Maker pieces are down here. So kind of some blue green stuff that's in this one. So let's finish it, and I'll show you how I was doing them. Okay, so I do a combination of painting on the glue, and sometimes it's a little tricky because they sort of stand, but they sort of don't. Sometimes I'll paint both sides, sometimes I'll just paint one. And let's see how I want to put this one on to cover. A lot of times I'll use my finger to push it down. Sometimes I do the brush. I used my fingernail, whoops, in this crack part to try to get it to recess in there so it'll fold well. And I'm trying to keep it up like this. It just keeps it in the right shape. And I have a wet paper towel, a wet washcloth handy to try to get some of the excess glue off as necessary. Okay, let's see. And this is some of the kind of bluish green that we have in the journal. So I hope you guys are having a good day. I did go out and do a little shopping that I might share with you in the near future. Maybe I'll try to make that video, I don't know, later today, tomorrow, because I want to put it to use in my sorting it out part of it, and then the other part is a little differently. Now I kind of have over here, I don't know if it's all in view, but some of my other colors have been kind of put over here. I started with the stamped pieces, whoops, like this, and kind of scattered them around first. Although, interesting, I don't have any of those on this one. I just noticed. So let's put some of those on. The reason I was doing it first is that they kind of stand out and I wanted some things to overlap them. So quick before we don't have things to put over the top. This kind of ties them into the stamped journal covers, which are inside. I'm toying with writing the word nature on the spine with stickers or by hand or something. I haven't decided yet. Let's see, what else can I find that's stamped? Have this big piece here. Tear up some smaller pieces. I don't know if you do any collage in your journaling. I do have a lot of collage projects that are coming or in the works already, like my one that's the cottage garden with the tree and the swing. I haven't forgotten that one. It's just in the cleanup and the journals I've made. It's kind of just been back burnered a little bit. It's sitting in my dining living room area waiting to be worked on more. So we will get back there, don't worry. It will happen. I just can't tell you when. Also, my outdoor compost collage of nature is still ongoing. It's just kind of taken a little bit of a slow time during winter, although probably tomorrow I'm going to go out and do some, but it's not in our compost pile area, so I'm not going to film that. I do need to go out there. The problem with the compost pile area is I don't want the fresh food scraps because my dog tends to get in them if they're accessible to him. He finds them tasty. So I like to put them in a raised bed and cover them up with plastic and wood where he can't get at them easily. Come on, stand up here. I think that's easier, but I do have a pile on the lawn if you want to go back and see my compost videos. I still have some leaves and plant things and paper that I can put into those. And so maybe sometime soon we'll go out and do that. I had hoped to do more during the winter so my compost would be ready for planting. It just kind of, I don't know about you people, but I have more things than I can possibly do. And I just can't really get to all of them. I wish that I could. But it's not that I've forgotten them. And feel free to remind me of anything that you would like to see me finish, because that will motivate me to get on it sooner. I know there's somebody anxiously awaiting to see it done. Seems like we haven't in our area had much winter. We've had more, just a lot of rain, like fall or something. Not that I want a pile of snow, I really don't. It's just not, it doesn't feel normal, I guess is what I'm thinking. Okay, this looks like a lot of brownish color, so I'm gonna cover that up. And I'm trying to get rid of more of the green and have more just blue. Okay, I'm standing up here. I don't know if you can see from up there because it's on its edge now, but when I stand it up, then I can wrap it around the edge and glue it down. And that's when the fingers, I think, work the best to get it down there. Oops. I haven't decided if this will be paper or paint. Kind of see what works the best. This says little tiny edge here, and so it needs something more to wrap it to make it stay down. Sometimes I just use, oops, I use white napkin sometimes because it might make it a little more, I guess, opaque or something, or paler, or however it affects the papers up above. It's kind of see-through when you put it on, after it dries especially, but it kind of can hold something down. Okay, so this, here's a little spot here. So maybe we'll put, when you get messy hands, it gets hard to hang on to napkin. Put that there. Whoops. It's kind of a spot here. And if it folds on itself, that's okay. It just gives it a little different look, which is fine. This one is a little different with the polka dot look, as opposed to, whoops, see, like that one just wadded itself right up, but we'll make do. We do have a spot right there. What would be good in there? Try this little blue-green napkin-y piece, and then just wrap. You have to have good wet fingers in order to smooth the napkin out. Okay, the back looks pretty good. There's a little spot here. Here's a little napkin. So you might recognize some of these papers from in our journal. I think it's kind of good to, I've heard it described in decorating. It's like cross-pollinating from one room to another. You take parts of something from one place and you put them in adjoining spaces, and it just unifies the two spaces. Okay, let's see. I have a lot here. I can lay this down without tearing it. I like to have an interesting spine as much as possible, because that is where it's gonna be visible if it's sitting on a bookshelf. So I try to add interest in there. I do have these darker ones. I don't have very much of it prepared at the moment, but I don't really like this really white spot. Well, it's kind of cream, but so I think I'll add some of these. Now right now they're only on the spine, but I can tear some more. This needs something to go over the edge. Let's see. And also, once again, it's kind of a stamped but not stamped piece. So it's good to shrink that plain part down. Okay, so let's check out the front. And we can come back later and lay things down better if we need to. Okay, there's a bunch of green right there. And this is interesting, this Joey Card Maker Digital has a bunch of polka dots, and we have our circle stamp that will kind of lessen the green there. Although I don't mind some green in it because it was kind of blue-green that we were doing before. Cool. Let me put this part down. It's a little long on the white part, but I don't know if you can see this or not. As I put it around, I can just fold this back up and glue it down too. Okay, so did we get the blue part covered? I think so. So we still need to figure out how to do the inside. Maybe we'll look at the orange one, which is dry, but maybe we'll also do the pocket thing. So maybe we'll do the pocket part. Put this up here to sit. Okay, we don't want this to be messy. It'd be good if I had a side table, but I don't really at the moment. Okay, so if I'm going to switch to the pocket, I'm going to sit my washcloth down. I don't have a cup of water to throw this in, so I'm just going to stick it in my wet washcloth. Although I've found that my Elmer's glue brushes, if they even dry up totally, I can actually just soak them in water and they come clean again. So this is my little kids container that I use for the Elmer's glue. Okay, hopefully these are enough out of the way to do this. This is the only one that's dry, and it's the only one that does not have its pocket yet, so that's why we're going to do this. Whoops. This isn't perfectly clean, so it's still sticky. Okay. Okay, here's a dry baby wipe I can use to dry it. Okay, so what I figured out, unfortunately my hands are not clean either. Okay, what I figured out how to do this, we can set this aside at the moment, and I do need my paper cutter. So what I did for the pocket is I did the 8.5 by 11 cardstock, the 8.5 by 11 side, and I cut a 2-inch strip. Like that. Okay, put this aside. And then I took the 2-inch strip to make the pocket, and I used my scoreboard. I'm not sure where my score tool that came in here, but this is one from the dollar store. It also has this pointy pick on this end, but I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe to take adhesive off of things. Sometimes that helps. But this side works good with the scoreboard. So this is 8.5, and I'm going to score it at 3, which is this width. Yeah, I'm going to put it in this part right here. So score it at 3. And then this is 1/2 inch. Hopefully these are all the same. That's what the other ones were. And so 3, 3.5, and then another 3 would be 6.5. And then 1/2 again would be 7. And so whatever's left doesn't really matter. Okay. I had my decorative elements somewhere for this orange one. Here they are. Okay, so we're done with our scoreboard and our paper cutter. So we fold the 3-inch line, the 3.5, the 6.5, and the 7. So now we have this. Now if you're putting things into the pocket, you'd be running into this piece if it was there, but if we glue it on the outside, then we have, it's all smooth inside. So that's what we're gonna do. We need, at least I want to, I don't know, you might not think you need, but I didn't want it to just be this white cardstock, so I just took my Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, and the sides really aren't going to show much, but I went off the sides just to make sure that it was out of the way. So this is the front. So each of them got one of these ribbons from the Joey Card Maker Nature's Notes digitals, and it's 4 sets. One is spring, one is summer, one is autumn, and one is winter. And there's some of all of it in there. So I put this on the front just to decorate the little pocket some. I also cut out a stamp and tried to make them along the theme of the color, the predominant color. There are other colors in the journals, but I also put a lot of the predominant color. Trying to get this going the right direction. Occasionally I have not succeeded, but you have to look pretty close to know. So that's how I've decorated them. Now this I want to go on the outside. So I'm putting glue on this little flap here. If it's coming out. There. And then to get it to line up on there, I'm putting this folded and running that end into it and making sure that the sides are lined up so it's all the way to the corner. And before it adheres completely, make sure you're in the right corners. Okay, so this seam then is on the outside where it's not going to run into things. Now I just put glue on the back here. And this is how I made the other 4. I saved this one so I could show you. Okay, so this is the way it opens. So I just put this in here towards the bottom and then just reach in here and press it down. It dries pretty quickly, but this make sure that it adheres where it needs to go. And so now we have a pocket for our little extra things, which we will look at as we do our flip through. So that's all there is to it. And then these will sit, see, I need to smooth that part out when I do the fix up of this orange one. These will sit on a bookshelf. I'm going to try to make it look like paper here. So it'll be on your bookshelf. This will be the spine. And then I might put a word, but I might not. Whoever gets them can always add whatever they want. They could put a name on if they want. They could add lace. They could do whatever they want. But they are all collaged to kind of match the journals. You would open it up and you'll have a pocket with some things in it, including the little mini tablet. And then the journal will sit in here. And then they can close and sit on your shelf. Now it doesn't fit completely closed, so I'm toying with the idea of putting a closure on it. I don't know whether I can punch through this. I've bought an eyelet punch, but I haven't used it yet because I haven't figured out how to do it. It has turning things to make different settings. If anyone wants to recommend a really good video for that, so I can figure out how to use it and whether or not it would punch through all of this. I'm not sure if it would. And I don't want to wrap around because that wouldn't look like a book. But it still sits on your shelf fine, and if you have it with other books, I think it works good. So anyway, that's where we are now. We have our other 4 books over here on my not so neat desk at the moment. And they all look collaged, kind of in their theme color, with some of our stamped images and some of the Joey card maker and some napkin. And inside they now all have their pocket, and this is where the journal will go. And so I'll finish these edges before we meet next time, and I'll figure out how to do the page paper look, and this part will be done, and we'll do a complete flip through. I'm probably going to put a focal image on top as well. So thank you for joining me. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest, and this is our series of 5 mini journals, Nature's Notes from Joey Cardmaker. Thank you for joining me along this way, and thank you for all my subscribers and viewers. Thank you for joining me. Have a great, loving, and creative day. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest.